decide to merge the monthly Treasury Talk with the weekly water cooler. So what's going to be happening is every Monday, the Treasury Talk, every first Monday of the month, the Treasury Talk will be merged with the water cooler chat. And we will be essentially using the first hour to cover Treasury updates, governance updates, and then the water cooler will happen as usual at the second hour. So thank you to Titan. Thank you to the community for allowing us to merge this event. And yeah, looking forward to kicking things off. Who else is meant to go on stage? Can folks who are presenting just request to be on stage? I think we're good for now. All right, I think it's now 3 p.m., so we can dive into the agenda for today. We have a pretty packed one, as you can see. We're going to be quickly recapping February governance activity, and then we have some SP presentations from upcoming SPEs, as well as updates from existing SPEs. Then we'll be quickly sharing some reminders and next steps. As you all know, quickly, the purpose of the Treasury Talk for folks who are listening in on other platforms like Twitter or YouTube, or if you're just joining this for the first time, the Treasury Talk is a space where we can present SP proposals, gather feedback from upcoming SPEs, also a space to share updates from existing SPEs and discuss general governance activity in Livepeer. This is also an arena for highlighting opportunities within the ecosystem. We get a lot of idea generation and validation in this talk. So it's also a way to identify some collaboration opportunities with folks who might have some synergies between their ideas and aligning on key objectives for the Livepeer network overall. And of course, with all this, we are actually generating new ideas for Livepeer's growth. All right, so really quickly, February governance activity, quite a few things happened. We had one SP proposal pass, which was really great. And then we have 3 more up for voting in the Explorer. So we have the GovWorks SP proposal right now, the DGen SP proposal, and actually this morning, the open source software funding proposal went up. So congrats to everyone for getting it across the line there. And just a call out to orchestrators to please vote, and you can also actually use the Cloud SP voting tool to leave your rationale, so your reasoning for voting the way that you did, which is a really handy tool. And we'll be sharing the link in future slides. We have 6 new SP proposals in the forum, which is great. And like I said, the Treasury Talk has merged with the water cooler chat. And then, of course, some really important discussions around the Livepeer token inflation and the Treasury cap are being discussed in the forum. I think someone has some background noise coming in. If you could mute if you're not speaking. All right, so quickly, the SP overview. What is happening in the SP pipeline? There's quite a few things happening, like I said. We have 6 new SP proposals on the forum. We have a ton of teams that we're speaking to here in Discord or in different platforms, contributors in the ecosystem who are excited to bring something new to help generate more network activity, to support the adoption of tooling and tech in the ecosystem, to generate more fees on the network. There's quite a few things happening, and we're going to be diving into that today. Like I said, we have a pretty packed agenda. So yeah, just going to try and breeze through the proposals. We're going to have time for questions, but just to everyone, if you could keep your presentations within 5 minutes, it'll be really ideal. Sorry, there is no screen showing. Jose, I think there's a problem with your screen share. So if you could actually stop your screen share and reshare that. If not, I will. So sorry to everyone that you've just been viewing a blank screen this whole time. Um, but if yours isn't working too well, I'm happy to step in.
I'm going to try again 1 second.
So I can see that it's visible for some, and for others, it's showing a blank screen. Really sorry, guys. Discord tends to act a little funny sometimes.
What about now? Is it good?
GM for folks who are just joining, welcome. We are just filling out some. Okay, Jose, I think this isn't working too well. So what I'm gonna do is just share my own screen. Okay, I think people can now see the presentation. I cannot see the presentation anymore on my end. It's just loading. So what I'm gonna do is share my own screen, and you all can confirm to me when you see it. All right. I hope you can see the presentation now. Please let me know. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Sorry for the time that this has taken to get up, but let's quickly move along here. So I'm just flipping through two screens now, just because of this. It'll probably be more ideal for someone to do the screen share while I talk through the chat and the different items. But I think we can wing it. It should be fine. So yeah, quickly, for those who did not get to see this, this is our agenda for the day. We have quite a few presentations coming up. I briefly went through the purpose of the Treasury talk. This is where we present upcoming SPE proposals, we gather feedback, we identify collaboration opportunities, and it's really just a place for us to keep aligning on key objectives for the Livepeer network and generating ideas for Livepeer's growth. So thank you all for being here. And yeah, I was briefly recapping governance activity. We had one SP proposal pass. There's 3 more up for voting in Explorer and tons more in the pipeline. We merged with the water cooler, and there's tons of important discussions around LPT inflation and the Treasury cap to contribute to in the Livepeer Governance Forum. And yes, today we'll be doing quite a few SPE proposal presentations. We have quite a few of them in the pipeline, like I said. So without further ado, let's kick off with the Event Marketing Fund SPE. And this will be presented by our friends at StreamETH. If you could just request to be on stage. Pablo from StreamETH could actually be brought up here on stage. That would be great. If you're ready, please signal. Yes, I don't think that Pablo is just quite ready to get going. So let us just skip further ahead to the next presentation, which is on Livepeer AI adoption, real-time AI streaming for artists. So this is an update from the Refraction team. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Hi, can you hear me? Just checking mic check. Good to go.
Good to go.
Nice. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having us. We are really excited to present the final version of our SPE, really designed to drive adoption of Livepeer's AI-powered streaming infrastructure, and really present some like real-world use cases, which is super important, as we all know. We wanted to make sure to create an SPE that most effectively aligns with the overall goals for Livepeer. And so we have been having some conversations following the initial SPE with multiple stakeholders, including Rick and others from the AI SPE, as well with Eric and Rich and N from the Livepeer team. Really wanted to focus on this idea of like, how can we most effectively move the needle forward for the strategic goals of Livepeer as a whole. So for some context, obviously we all know that Livepeer AI is evolving super fast. The subnet has grown from 3 to 25 engineers. We know that development is accelerating, but we also know that it's a great time for real adoption, which is super needed right now to showcase this AI-powered streaming in action. The question becomes like, why artists, right? Artists are naturally early adopters of new technology. They're constantly pushing creative and technical boundaries. They have an audience, they bring an audience, they stream, they showcase and onboard their own audiences, organically expanding Livepeer's reach. And how this SPE helps is that it's a structured adoption pipeline for AI-powered artist streaming. Right? It ensures long-term engagement, not just a one-time activation, which was what the original SPE proposed. It's this idea of like, how do we create value over time? Because we also know in conversation with the team that things are constantly evolving on the technical side. It's really smart. It's smarter to be able to showcase something over a longer period of time to update on developments, show how quickly things are moving ahead, and all the cool things that can be done, which ensures, again, long-term engagement and generates more AI-powered content, driving demand for the infrastructure. So, yeah, if you go to the next slide, um, we are, since the pre-proposal, we've made some key refinements to ensure that the SPE aligns with long-term Livepeer AI's long-term strategy growth, based on those conversations with our key stakeholders. So, as I mentioned, we're going from a one-time event to an ongoing AI-powered streaming series. They'll stream directly on UFO.fm. I think you'll hear from Nick a little bit later in the presentations, which is, as some of you may know, a decentralized Web3 media platform that's integrated with Livepeer AI. This is going to ensure a persistent engagement, some broader visibility, and a sustained network adoption. Right? We had a lot of really great feedback from everyone around. Can this be a bit more than just an event? How do we prove longer term effect of what we're putting out there? How do we get more people excited about what's going on? And so this idea of doing it ongoing was really important to us. And so we're going to do it every 2 weeks for 3 months. It's a structured 3-month program with artists showing, every couple weeks, and that would include a 2-hour AI enhanced live stream performance. And then I think this was a really interesting idea that came from Rick and the the SPE team. The idea that including a 30-minute artist workshop or Q&A explaining that Livepeer AI workflow, which to us is super key in terms of showing the power of how it works behind the hood, getting people excited and making it maybe more approachable and more accessible for people to implement in their own creative process. So again, this process really ensures continuous onboarding and engagement throughout the program. And obviously, another thing that we wanted to refine for this: stronger KPIs and impact for the Livepeer network, more creators onboarded, more retention beyond the program. We have some live stream goals, in terms of viewers per showcase, and then more AI power streams, which obviously increase the network fees and usage, which, at the bottom line, we are transitioning from a single event to a scalable, structured framework for real world adoption, right? This idea of like, how do we create a program that really brings people on board, shows them the power, but then also gets them excited to stay and keep exploring. If you go to the next slide. Yeah, so what we're asking for, oops, sorry, yeah, that's the one. What we're asking for, 4,000 LPT in funding to drive this real-time AI streaming adoption. We're asking for the orchestrator and ecosystem partner support to really align with that adoption strategy. And what's next is really finalizing this community feedback, moving to voting, launching this AI powered artist showcase the next quarter, and then ongoing creator adoption and network growth. So really for us, Livepeer, we want that to become the go-to decentralized platform for AI powered video streaming. And this SPE really provides that framework to make that happen. So yeah, thanks for your time. I feel like I've blitz speed run through this whole thing, but I'm excited about the proposal and really think it presents a good opportunity for AI to gain momentum with Livepeer at the head. And would love to hear your thoughts, feedback, and any questions you all might have. So yeah, thanks again for your time, everybody.
Thank you so much, Raf, for your presentation. It's been really great to see sort of the recursive approach that you've taken to building out this proposal and taking it from like a single piece to something more expansive that can serve the Livepeer ecosystem in the long run. So just wanted to give you your kudos for that. And of course, we've talked a little bit in previous Treasury talks about how the one of the missing pieces really to connect all the great work that's being done to the folks that will actually really use this and have it reach like a critical mass of adoption is that cultural component. And, artists are extremely essential in that regard. So really cool to see this initiative shaping up, to see it on the forum. If anyone has questions, feel free to drop them in chat for Raf and the Refraction team, or you can raise your hand and come up. But we don't want to take too much time. So if not, we will just breeze on over to the next presentation. And I can see that Pablo is now here on stage. Welcome, Pablo. I'll be queuing you up next if no questions. Thank you so much, Raf, for your presentation. And please go check out the Livepeer real-time AI adoption for artists proposal in the forum and leave more extensive feedback if you have them. All right, I'm just going to take it back a bit further to the Event Marketing Fund SPE. Pablo, please take it away.
Yes, can you hear me properly?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Hey. Thank you, awesome. Let me see if the camera works. I don't know, cool. Yeah, sorry, I had some technical issues with Discord, but now everything is fixed. So happy to be here presenting this SPE, which has been a interesting process, a long process, but happy to be here on stage presenting. So yeah, I'm happy to present the marketing fund, event marketing fund SPE, and the core proposition here is to create a open fund where companies in the Livepeer ecosystem that are dedicated to events can leverage this fund to attract Web3 events to use Livepeer and Livepeer technology, both on the live streaming end of the spectrum, but also now within nascent AI technology that the Livepeer ecosystem is developing. And why I think this is a good idea? Well, we know that events play a pretty critical part in the marketing pipelines of most Web3 companies. There is more than 1,000 events all year round, all across the world. Most of these events go from very, very large ones like ETC or DEF CON to small ones, but they all ultimately use video and do like audiovisual experiences. So I think there is a great opportunity to create, like I said, this fund to basically get the brand of Livepeer to all these events, right? So whenever there's a live stream happening, wherever there's an AI exposition or something similar to this, like this, right? We see that that's powered by Livepeer. Of course, Livepeer is the only, I would say, like valid decentralized video streaming technology existing right now. And I think all events should be powered by live stream, all the live streaming of all the events. So that's basically the core proposition here. Yeah, if you go to the next slide. So yeah, the core. So why am I presenting this, right? So I'm the founder of StreamETH. StreamETH is an open source platform that was founded in 2021 on top of Livepeer. We've been contributing to the Livepeer ecosystem for 4 years now. We are the leading video event company in Web3. We already host most, if not all, the major events in Web3. So we collaborate with the Ethereum Foundation doing DevCon and DevConnect. We do ETC, we do Etember, and we do a bunch of other side events and events across the world. And every year we keep growing. So we already have the brand and the leverage to activate this proposal. And we also have the experience to onboard other companies to kind of leverage this fund and start working with events across the space to showcase Livepeer and use Livepeer for their projects, right? So initially, we will be the ones stewarding this SPE with a core team of 4 members, and we're asking 12,000 equity for a 6-month program to basically keep operating this SPE and also keep funding development of the public good platform that we consider StreamETH is, which is core to basically getting all these events to live stream on Livepeer, right? Yep. And the next slide, please. Yeah. So the goals and the goals are pretty clear, right? So it's to get Livepeer into the eyes of as many people as possible through Web3 events, and we are estimating that we can reach around 100 events in these next 3 months. In the SPE, you can find, so in the forum, in the SPE pre-proposal, it has been live for a few weeks already. You can find how I think we can reach these goals, but basically the TLDR is that we want to reach 100 events in these next 3 months. This would total to around 9 million minutes transcoded to the network, and hopefully we can reach around 6.5 million impressions. So people consuming these live streams and these videos from all these events, right? And like I said, you can find more information about how we reach these metrics in the forum. And here are some links. So you can look at the proposal on the forum. You can see our website and what we do in more detail in these links. And you can also, if you haven't already, see how the platform operates in that link. And there's more resources and more information in the SPE proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pablo. It's really good to see the proposal at this stage. And if anyone has more questions for Pablo, please drop them in chat or feel free to raise a hand within the next minute or so. It's really impressive to see sort of the traction that StreamETH has gained so far just in the landscape of event streaming. And I think 100 events in the next couple of months is a pretty ambitious goal, but I'm pretty sure it's very feasible with, all the partners that are already familiar with the platform and the volume of events that we see going on, and just that having that Livepeer branded streaming platform really does a lot to improve legitimacy and visibility overall. So it's really great to see this being sort of stewarded within a more formalized structure as an SPE. And I know that this idea has also taken a couple iterations with advice from Inc. and the community. So I'm really happy to see this at this stage, and just encouraging folks to please head over to the forum to read this in further depth and give, thoughtful feedback. And we'll be signaling at the right time to just approve that for the voting stage if it meets all the criteria. And it will be great to just see that move over to a vote as well. I think Virus is typing something, might be a question for Pablo and the StreamETH team. So we'll just hold on for a second.
I can also just quickly ask it, for how long, or the budget that you proposed in the proposal, for how many months is that supposed to last?
So can you hear me? Yes. So we are already starting to basically reach out to events. So this should be a 6-month period. Of course, the funds won't be consumed in the 6 months. I mean, if we really have to serve all these 100 events, then the funds will be totally consumed. But if we only do 4 events, it's also outlined in the forum in the SPE text. If we don't reach our goal and we don't have the needs to really use all the funds, then the funds will spill over past the 6 months.
Apparently, it might be missing in the forum post, but it's good that this is in the slide. 12,000 LPT for a 6-month duration. But yeah, we can probably touch on that a bit further asynchronously. I think someone else is typing, Marley. But quickly, I'm just going to move over to the next presentation. Thank you, Pablo. Quickly, we'll just have Jason, who is stewarding the open source software funding SPE, to give a brief update on the status of this proposal. So Jason, if you could please come on stage, request to come on stage. I don't think Jason is available just yet, so we'll just head over to the next presenter and circle back once he's available. Next, we have the Gateway Wizard team. If you guys can... Okay, Ineche is on stage here with us. This one is a little bit different. It's not quite an SP proposal. It is a group of Livepeer grantees seeking SP collaboration, which is pretty interesting. So external contributors to an SPE. Ineche, thanks for joining us. Please share your proposal.
Yeah, good day everyone. Everyone can hear me. I'm fine. My name is Enenche and part of the GWIG team, short for Livepeer Gateway Wizard. And the essence of our presentation is we are seeking an SPA, a collaboration with an already established SPE, give context to what we are building. GUID, or the Gateway Wizard, is a web UI launcher for Gateway on any cloud provider. Just a website where any user interested in accessing Livepeer inference or transcoding capability could easily launch their own gateway with all its customization and support needed to properly run and manage the gateway. More than just deploying a gateway, it includes all the infrastructure to keep it running smoothly, which include analytics, Grafana, alert notification, a funding panel, or from the web. So no need to have to SSH into a server and manually, do all this thing. You could all do it from the web. So far from what we've got. So next slide, please. The idea is to reduce technical barrier and entry into the Livepeer stack. So why this is needed, right, is we see a rapid growth of new initiatives and SPEs in the Livepeer ecosystem currently. And most of these SPA on their own gateway or support developers or startup in launching theirs. And this where GWID comes in, it removes this, it takes away the complexity of having to of a developer, understand what the stack does, having to deploy it to any cloud server, like getting the head over, Livepeer CLI configuration, how to fund their gateway, how to keep it running smoothly. It kind of takes away this whole function and just handles everything for a user. We also see Livepeer heading into a gateway agnostic path. Every project will probably run their own gateway, as we're seeing with each SPE. So every project might likely just run their own gateway instead of relying on one gateway like this gateway or about. With rising number of gateway operator, this is where it helps with decentralizing the network more, making it more resilient and more scalable. Next slide. So yeah, the idea is to simplify and accelerate gateway adoption easily. Last year, September, we got a grant, an open network grant to build out the proof of concept of this project. And the grant is successfully completed. And what we've achieved on this grant is one-click deployment of gateway, either a transcoding an AI tab, right? So easily launch of any gateway to AWS cloud provider from a web UI, from a website, from our websites. We also have tooling to help manage and auto scale this gateway as with load balancers and whatnot. Also, a user can deploy and manage multiple gateway instances all from their profile. We just kind of automatically route requests to multiple of your gateway running and manage it for you. We also have a funding panel that any gateway currently can use to fund their gateway, and I think Titanium has been using it a lot. Configurations like selecting transcoding profile and terminating the instance at will, everything is handled for you from it. So have an interactive web-based shell that allows you to interact with the Livepeer CLI. You don't have to SSH into your command from your terminal. You could just interact with the Livepeer CLI of your gateway or from the web. Also have tooling for monitoring and alerts, like performance tracking of the gateway. We have partner Joe is also currently on a grant working on looking more at the gate. We are applying a lot of this into Grid. Next slide. Who we are, I myself am an application engineer and I've been a multi-grantee of Livepeer, and recently completed was Grid and the wallet messenger on the Live Pioneer app. So I have deep experience building solutions, especially Livepeer, and optimize it, and on using this experience to build out Grid to its full potential. Joel, my partner, is a DevOps and cloud engineer. As mentioned, is working currently with the Livepeer Inc. team on a grant to analyze how the Livepeer infrastructure handles load under various conditions. It's looking into how to access and interpret lots of logs and metrics from the gateway. So all this expertise will be put into developing this project. Next slide. We are seeking a strategic partnership and already established SPE for accelerate development and adoption of Grid in the Livepeer ecosystem. It would be a go-to gateway registration and management tool in the ecosystem. And our expectation include funding support, access to infrastructure resources, mentorship and guidance, which is very important to us, which is why we are going to partner we want to have a short period of a pilot period where we work with already established SP engineer that already know how the all stacks and network works, and that guidance is very, very important for us. What we are requesting for funding is 6,500 LPT for a duration of 5 months. And on the proposal, refining it, and speaking with other stakeholders. We've been speaking with some like WIC and Co. With the help of the government, hope to reach a partner with one of the SPE. If any question, take it now.
All right. Thank you so much, Aniche, for your presentation. I think it's really interesting to see sort of this dynamic where previous grantees potentially contribute to existing SPEs, and then if there is a larger need for more formal structure, then that could naturally sort of shape up into its own SPE. But I think this has a lot of potential, and it's great to see that the tools you've built using the grants are already being utilized quite a bit by the ecosystem, and there is a path forward to making things more extensible and just expanding that tool set. So yeah, great work on completing the grant, and I think we can keep the discussion on the rest of the details and potential collaborations more asynchronous as we are running short on time. So yeah, we could just quickly go over to the next presentation. Thank you for sharing. Next, we have the Web3 social video SP pre-proposal. And this was from Nick. Yeah, Nick is on stage. Hi, welcome, Nick. If you could just quickly, in the next 5 minutes, present your pre-proposal idea.
Hello. Yes, I'll be mindful of time. Is my sound coming through?
Coming through, great.
Jumping in. So introducing everyone to the pre-proposal for this initiative that's up in the forum, and you can check it out. So the quick outline for the mission, the primary objective here is to drive development and adoption of decentralized video infrastructure via Livepeer within Farcaster Base and the Coinbase wallet ecosystem, and then other ecosystems beyond, of course. The current gap that we've identified is Livepeer lacking an established presence in these networks, which is limiting adoption and impact. And the role of this SPE acting as the dedicated force behind Livepeer's expansion or Web3 video expansion, ensuring the video streaming becomes integral to these key platforms. This idea came up basically, I don't know of everyone who's here on the call, how familiar everyone is with Farcaster and the Warpcast space, but with Frames V2 coming through, it's basically we can now do things that weren't possible before to actually. So our aspiration with this, along with ecosystem development and all that kind of stuff, and looking to onboard creators into using Livepeer and so on, as we'll get into in a few points here, is that we realized that we could ideally bring live broadcasting right into some of these ecosystems and potentially gain really dramatic distribution and stuff like that for creators and so on. Sure, let's key contributors in the SPEs, myself, the founder of UFO, which is the first on-chain radio station. We broadcast using Livepeer, of course, Livepeer Studio and everything, both for live broadcasts and also like video on demand and sort of building out an archive and stuff across the station. You can check it out at ufo.fm. And yes, established connections myself with the teams at Base and Farcaster and all that kind of crew. Pablo as well is a contributor on this SPE, who we heard from just earlier as well, the founder of StreamETH. And another person we have here is Woj, who recently took up a gig in product and engineering at Warpcast as of like 2 weeks ago, former founder of Supercast. Some of you may be familiar with that as well. And so he's down to be like a connection point for us in looking to integrate Livepeer's video streaming into the kind of Warpcast product and things. Next slide. I feel like we're about to jump across into kind of what we're actually doing, but maybe let's come back to this one. Can we jump ahead to the next? Yeah. So milestones, timeline stuff. So basically what we're going to set out to do, develop HLS playback for Farcaster mini apps. You can now like ship these mini apps into Warpcast, which then people can like engage with right there in the app. You can also have distribution out into all these ecosystems. So we're going to start out by shipping a prototype mini app using UFO with live streaming for radio. So we can basically use that. And the idea is to create that as a primitive that by the end, ideally, like everyone can come and use that now that we've like sorted out the HLS playback and stuff like that. Month 3, deploy the mini app with these integrations and also testing with partner creators from the UFO radio station ecosystem and other platforms and things. Let's jump to the next one. And so months 4 and 5 is like go to market and adoption for what's being created there. Launch marketing campaigns in collaboration with Base, Coinbase Wallet, Farcaster Crew, and with Livepeer, and kind of bringing this whole thing together. It also lines up with FarCon, which is happening May 1st to 4th in New York, which like the first FarCon was last year, or I'm sorry, it's gone for a couple of years now, but that's the biggest coming together for that whole ecosystem, and it lines up kind of perfectly with this. So in that go-to-market as well, engaging with creators through partnerships and collaboration, and basically like getting this mini app framework out there so like a bunch of people can launch their own and bring broadcasting into the whole thing. Lots of really like exciting possibilities in terms of Web3 social, just broadly, if I can speak to all the kinds of like engagements and participation and mechanics and stuff that you could potentially build in to run alongside like live broadcasting is really sick. If you think about what you can do with like Farcaster social graph, or people like checking in on a stream, or all those sorts of mechanics are really, really, really interesting. And so month 6 here as well on the SPE, documentation, ecosystem expansion. So we like publishing everything, the technical breakdowns and everything, support additional teams in launching their own mini apps too, and evaluating like metrics, proposing next steps that ideally this SPE can kind of, continue along and be a vehicle for expanding Livepeer out into all these like Web3 social spaces. The funding request, 15,000 LPT for a 6-month execution period. You can check, I would say, the pre-proposal post in the forum as well to see like way more information about all this and all the breakdowns and stuff. And yeah, really stoked to be sharing this with the community and really keen for your feedback and input as we're in the pre-proposal stage. Yeah, big thanks.
Thank you so much, Nick, for presenting. This is really exciting, and I can already see, some synergies shaping up with, of course, the work that StreamETH is doing, but also, on another hand, the work that the Refraction team is doing to connect some of these pieces to artists and, users in general of the tools. So it could be nice to see some collaborative initiatives, campaigns shaping up on that side. But yeah, I think this is really, really cool to see all the momentum that's being built. Doug said, yes, good amount of DJ artist momentum across these projects. So yeah, fantastic to see. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them in chat. I would actually like to circle back now to Jason. I had just seen Jason in the chat. If you are available, thank you so much, Nick. Yes, Jason is here if you want to quickly touch on some updates from the open source software funding SPE that went up for voting this morning.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry I was unavailable for a while. It's a minor update regarding like the OSS funding SPE. We had a pre-proposal in the forum for a while, and we went through a couple of iterations from community feedback and everyone, and it's finally in the pending in Explorer for voting. I think it goes live in March 5th. I think 2 days now. So just wanted to let everyone know that we have a multi-sig that includes one member from GovWorks and one member from advisors as well. So that's for security. And yeah, I just want everyone to know thank you for all the feedback, and hope to see the support in Explorer in coming days. Thank you so much.
Congrats for getting that up there. And yeah, thank you for, just really paying attention to community feedback and doing your best to incorporate all of that from, Inc. perspective, community perspective. I think all those came together really nicely. The proposal in terms of surfacing priorities especially was one thing we had talked about in terms of where the funding is going and when. So yeah, it's nice to see this at this stage, and yeah, please feel free to check that out in the Explorer and vote once it leaves the pending phase. Right, and just moving on over to our next proposal. We have quite a few to get through today, but we are almost there. It's just been really interesting to hear from everyone. We have the transcoding SPE pre-proposal update from Marco and team. Marco, are you available? Yes,
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right, then I'll quickly get started. So, thank you all for listening in. Some of you might remember that we first introduced the transcoding SPE back in January, and we have the pre-proposal up on the forums for a week now. So, but first I'll give a brief recap of what the transcoding SPE actually is. So, I think we're all familiar with how Livepeer started out with only having transcoding as a job type, and then they added AI jobs last year. And that's been developing really, really quickly. And we've seen an increase in fees coming from different AI initiatives. So the focus of the ecosystem is really shifting towards AI and live AI pipelines. But meantime, the transcoding pipeline will, it will never be truly finished. And so we could really use some dedicated engineers to maintain the transcoding pipeline and, add new codecs, new devices, build on the documentation, or fix node operator pain points like better GPU load balancing, that kind of stuff. So that's what the transcoding SPE does. We're here to ensure that the transcoding pipeline gets the attention it needs to be maintained and improved. So what's new? Not a lot has changed since the previous presentation. We didn't get that much feedback. So one thing we did get mentioned was from Hunter was we should look into an automated testing framework. So there already is some limited testing in the repositories. Whenever you push a commit, some tests get run. And every time you add a new feature, you should, of course, include new tests as well, so you keep the code coverage up. But I think what Hunter is talking about here is something a bit more complex to catch some of the more silent failures. So I think a lot of node operators will remember that for a while we ran with a greatly reduced capacity due to upstream change to improve the transcode quality. And that kind of stuff could be catched with some regression testing. And so we will definitely include some of this in our final proposal before we post it. And then there's also the gateway people. We just heard from them. They're not just for gateway deployment. And so we might consider mentoring them to add some, actual video capabilities to their deployed pipelines, like clipping streams or whatever. So we can think of some cool stuff here. So, and then there's one more thing. Like yes, Papa Bear, a quick sync video. I really want to use it as well. I have my Intel cards ready. Anyway, there's a third point of potential updates on the SPE, which is that we could potentially support inbound opportunities directly. People who are looking to use Livepeer powered live streaming pipeline. But we have to talk more about that. So we might have another pre-proposal update on the forums before we go to an on-chain vote. So that was my TED talk. Feel free to drop some questions, or otherwise, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your time, Marco. Yeah, really great to see the team stepping up to own this pipeline that Inc. is sort of, refocusing away from. And I know the community is extremely excited. I know there's also dependencies from other projects like the Gateway Wizard There's also some key collaboration points there. If anyone has any comments or questions for Marco, please drop them in chat. I see a comment that says, putting many proposal presentations together makes it difficult to disseminate everything effectively. And I do agree. The agenda got really full really, really quickly. And we are looking for a better way to sort of kind of, figure out the best slots in general for folks. And we have this Treasury talk once a month. So I think that people have been really keen to get this community feedback. But of course, the asynchronous format, which is discussing in governance channel, discussing on the forum, are also really, really important. And I really encourage folks to use those avenues to keep sharing feedback on these ideas and proposals. But without further ado, we will be hearing just from a few more folks. These are current SPEs that are already operational. Some we haven't heard from in some time. So it's nice we have about 2 or 3 folks lined up to give some updates on what they've been up to. So if we could just have live pioneers up on stage to give us a brief recap of what's been happening since then. Carlotta, can you please bring up live pioneers? I don't have the permissions to do that. Welcome. Great to hear from you. I'm not sure if you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you
sorry.
now. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
it was my settings in Discord, sorry. Yeah.
No
So thank
worries.
you. I was saying thank you for, to GoWorks, for, all the help in, for arranging, the meeting, the presentation. So thank you for the support. So, and so basically, okay, so the quick update about our work. So what we were working, recently and sharing also some links in chat. So one is the app. So we have our app. The link is now okay in the chat. So it's like pioneers.app. So we rolled out 2 major updates. In December, we rolled out a very big update about the profile page, the calculator, and we improve a lot the delegator and orchestrator, the reward tracking. And just a few weeks ago in February, we released there is a very new cool feature that we can ask it to test. Also, is basically it's a chat, it's a end-to-end encrypted chat with orchestrator. When we say verified orchestrator, because we are also, the team is also is contacting the orchestrator to whitelist them. So we want to be sure that this is a safe place to chat because we know it's everything very dangerous here. In crypto, and the scams are always, around the corner. So this is a super safe chat for orchestrator and delegator to talk to each other. And also there is also the feature that for orchestrator to notify, to broadcast messages to delegator. So to reach out the chat, there is a new icon on the toolbar. I'm not sure if I can share the screen, maybe or probably not, or maybe the next session we can also make a quick demo. So this is one of the features. You can reach out to close to the calculator. And also the calculator is very cool. It's a cool feature we added actually in the previous update where you can calculate your return of investment of your delegation. And okay, in the next slide instead, the calculator. So this is also one of the updates. So we have also the blog here where we have the series of Know Your Orchestrator. So these are the 2 last release, one with Titan and one with Pixel Field. There are also links in the presentation. And also there is another article was about the Governance Hub. All these articles are also translated. Basically, they are, of course, in English and translated in 8 other languages. So at the moment, so far we have 137 articles translated in 8 languages plus English, so 9 languages. And so the next article we are preparing and a guide, also a video tutorial, is a 3-minute delegation guide. Around the new support of Binance over Arbitrum, because I think this is also a major breakthrough for Livepeer. because actually, we are saying this from a year now that, bridging the token is complicated for the average user. So the fact that now Binance, that is the largest exchange, supports Arbitrum, so that is a game changer, we think. And, we already shared the news and created also some animation in our social, but we are going now in the next days to release a new article and video tutorial and some YouTube shorts to make sure, more people knows it's way easier now to, to delegate the token and enjoy probably the most stellar rewards on Web3. So that is the quick update. I hope I was short. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to read a comment from Doug. If we could better educate Binance users about the ease of staking LPT now that our withdrawals are available, that could definitely bring in more delegators. And I think the work you're doing in terms of education is improving delegator UX, which has been a big theme in the communities so far. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really important piece there.
Actually, we can do good point from Doug, because actually, so what we can do is, another, probably a Binance delegation, Binance earning versus native delegation. So like some pro and cons. Actually more pro, only pro for native staker. But yeah, good point. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And it's great to hear from you guys. I know in previous water coolers, Treasury talks, there's been, a lot of talk about, transparency in terms of deliverables shipped by existing SPEs. So seeing all this work that's been done since your last update is really cool. It's really encouraging. If anyone has further questions for the Live Pioneers team, please feel free to drop in chat. Again, thank you for your time, and we'll be going to our next presentation from the Agent SPEs with the progress report, which was really great, by the way, posted by Phoenix. Hi, Phoenix.
Hey there. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me up. Really appreciate the time. So hello, everyone. It's Phoenix here. Oh, you could just go back a slide. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
There you are. So just a report from the Agent SPE. Today, we're going to be covering basically what we've been doing and a little bit of a brief overview of the monthly report that was completed, and then a quick idea at the end of where we're going. Next slide, please. You can go to the next slide, thanks. Thank you. So we are doing monthly reports, and basically they'll have the roadmap milestones, what the team has been doing, and any inference credits or what the Treasury funds have been using, basically from the Livepeer that we've got for this SPE. So roadmap milestones. In brief, what we have achieved so far. So early on, when we were first started our SPE, we did some major things. So we implemented the image generation and the LLM integration into ELIZA. So that's been a fantastic thing, and it is totally accepted into the ELIZA main branch now, and it is operational. So that was done by Define, our lead developer, and Titan reviewed all the code and then tested it all, and it's all been absolutely fantastic. Then we've done a lot of gateway testing, which I'm sure a lot of orchestrators and people here know how much that is, how valuable that is. So we've done a lot of that, and we have a lot to do still to just make this system more robust. Titan launched his ELIZA tutorial, which has been well received and been utilized. So I'll touch on that a bit later. And then we've been doing these other components here of the Comfy Stream and Comfy UI, which Define has worked on a lot with that side. And then we've also started working on the VTuber proof of concept. Next slide, please. Thank you. There we are. So just to show you, Livepeer is in the ELIZA repo now. And next slide, please. And this is just a quick overview of the monthly report. I won't touch on this, but basically we just make notes of what everybody does so that we can keep track of what we're doing, where we're going, and where we want to go. Next slide, please. This one's the inference credits. So all the transactions and hashes and everything are lodged in a Treasury report, which I do keep track of all the books. So basically, this was up to mid-February. We have currently, up until today, we've used about 1,500 Livepeer, and that is between the Cloud SP and Agent SPE. So here I just want to say thank you, everybody, for approving the inference credit SPE. And just to note, it is for both the Cloud SPE and the Agent SPE. And it's just helping to give free inference away to people that can use us and get people driving work to the network. And next slide, please. This is our website. So it's livepeer-eliza.com. And Titan, as you know, he does absolutely fantastic tutorials. He's done a really good tutorial for our inference and basically setting up an agent from scratch. You don't really need a lot of experience. You don't need to be a developer. But what it does is get you going with your agent, and it gets you onto Twitter, Discord, all these profiles, and gets people using us. So this has been really fantastic so far. And this is just we give away $100 in Livepeer for people to use us, just to get people going. Next slide, please. And yeah, this is basically one of the tutorial actively working with us and asking questions, etc. So we're intending to build on that number, and yeah, it's pretty exciting so far. So next slide, please. And here we are. Okay, so this is what we are just about to work with. Let me just go back and make sure I said. So also, the other thing I wanted to mention is that we are generating fees to the network. So far, with our inference credits, we have generated 1,000 to 3,000 of network fees to the Livepeer infrastructure. And that is about a 10 to 30% increase in fees from agent activity. So it's really exciting that we are building something that is generating fees, because I know how everybody wants this, and we all really want Livepeer to succeed. So we're starting to build on that slowly, but as we go forward, we want to keep building on sending fees to the network. And so then what we've got here is an idea about VTuber. And so we have got this proof of concept coming out, and we think it's a great idea to get agents actually in real time live streaming people's agents. So this is what we're working on. Next slide, please. Just a quick overview of the concept. So this is just a quick demonstration where you basically have, you convert the image on the left there to your agent. So as you can see, this is Livy. This is our agent we're working with on the right there. And Livy will be the agent that speaks across the internet and will be able to tell everybody about Livepeer, answer questions about documentation, etc. So that's something we're working on. And next slide, please. So this is kind of what we're working on. We'd love some questions if anyone has any questions for us. And I know in time we've got to get going, but thank you again, everybody, for giving us the opportunity, approving our SPEs, and letting us get to work on this.
Thank you so much, Phoenix. It's been great to hear from you. Really great work. Like I said, the team has absolutely been shipping. That report was extremely detailed, so quite exemplary in terms of the report standards. So it's really great just to see how the funds are being utilized and so on. May I also present our tech demo? I fear that we are eating into the time for this week's Water Cooler Chat, but if it's okay with everyone, we'd be happy to bring Define up for a quick tech demo. Hopefully that doesn't take up too much time. Yeah, please request to come up. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yes, define if you could please request, and I can just stop my screen share momentarily for you
Can you
to.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Perfect. So I'm gonna show you guys what are the most recent achievements of the agent SPE. And before I do that, I'm gonna say very few words about what we did and the approach we took and why we're doing it. So why we're doing it, what we're doing is that we create the next generation of VTuber products that people will be able to use autonomously. And once they utilize, they will be out autonomously generating fees, assets, acquiring assets for them, doing all kind of GDP work, generating work for them. And so why we do that because we believe that there is a future that is coming very soon where you will have those perpetual active assets, which will basically be your agents, and those agents will have many forms. And the most marketable form, and also the most pleasurable to look at, to interact with, it's a visual form. So in the past 2 to 3 weeks, I did different kind of experimentation, and I found out that there is no utilization on game engines. And really, game engines have an amazing background, an amazing community, and so much existing material and code to work if you want to actually deploy your VTuber there. So I was amazed why no one was doing it, but it's very easy to fall in the trap if you work in the ecosystem to use Comfy UI or use the existing solutions. So the previous week and this week I started working with Unreal Engine and MetaHumans, and it turns out that we hit something that it's really valuable. Can you see my screen right now? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Hello?
we can.
Perfect.
I
Okay,
can,
so
yeah, I can see the screen.
what you're looking at right now is a MetaHuman, which is a game character. And as you can see, it's very human-like, very detailed, even the hair. And this is not, by the way, the quality is way better with custom plugins and everything. And this is a remote PC, so it's only natural. But I'm going to show you that we already have implemented in this MetaHuman the ability to, and this is been done with audio to face, the ability to basically stream audio, any audio track, directly to this VTuber. So a lot of the work that we assumed that it was about to be finished even 2 or 4 weeks away from now, it's finished right now. And I'm going to show you. Now you may not see any sound. This sound file is being directly streamed to the MetaHuman. Can't sense. You don't hear any sound because it's a remote computer. This audio file is being directly streamed to this MetaHuman, and you can have MetaHuman in any kind of look. You can make custom clothes for them. You can have a lot of presets. So tomorrow we're also gonna hire the guys that they gonna work on the Unreal Engine character actually, and also a lot of the VTuber work is actually being completed and it's running really fast. So we would like to put this update here, let people that this is happening. This is there is not a lot of days before we are doing our alpha, and not too much time actually before we have an MVP, way sooner than expected. And so yes, this is the update from me. Do you want to? I can show you a bit of the clothing. I mean, it's remote PC. The graphics are not so good, but you can have amazing quality of graphics, no diffusion loss. And the best thing of all is that you can put this directly into Daydream, and without spending too much money to generate the background asset or the cartoonist Livy persona, you can do that all with Daydream, and then you can have these making fees for the network, which will later, once we finish the MVP, will bundle appropriately and ship it to the Livepeer pipelines. Then you have Daydream also generating fees for the network. Okay, so that's the update. Sorry if I took too much time, and thank you very much, Nomad, Jones, and GovWorks for this. You guys are amazing, and thank you very much.
Fantastic. That was super cool. If I can use something like that myself to set up a couple, avatars and stream some audio, it's I think it's just really, really cool. And there's a couple
Absolutely.
artists
I
also
can be one of
that I've
your
spoken to.
testers if you want.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, that'll be really, really cool. Thank you for that demo, and I'm glad that we didn't have any technical issues because I know Discord loves to do its own thing. But really quickly, we just have maybe about 5 more minutes of talking for Treasury Talk, and then we'll just hand it over to Papa Bear to carry on the water cooler chat. I know there's a couple discussion topics I think that have even been seeded in here for the water cooler chat. So thank you all so far for your presentations. We just have one more update from an SPE, which is the Origin Stories SPE. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again to get this proposal presentation started. I hope you can see my screen. And if we could just have Origin Story on stage. Carlotta, could you kindly bring up Origin Story for their presentation?
Hey.
All right, perfect. Hi, Sean. Welcome to the call.
Thanks. Very cool. Also, the metahumans. And just to say, like, a lot of the startups we've seen, like, we've been out, a lot of them are using Unreal right now to kind of hack the challenges that come with, needing that much power. But yeah, so interesting to see what everyone's just doing. We've been quite busy since the top of the year. And I'm not in charge of the slides, so just keep going. But yeah, so basically the two kind of big things is we solidified all of our design partners across the different kind of like Times AI that we are working through, which was really nice. So we have a very let's say like diverse group of experts in different creative culture sector verticals. And we did 2 like very intensive workshops, one already around theater and AI, and then another that was more general about like music, live production. And so we'll continue those with the different partners this coming month, and also begin to start releasing some of the educational content. Now also good to know because of Comfy UI, Comfy Stream being a focus to also make sure that we include that. And we have been kind of like, playing with like what we think is this like the best quality, right? Always. And then also like where the middle is and where things can bridge and how you can kind of do that. So I think the QR goes to the proposal. And then we had our test experience in Amsterdam where we were playing with real-time AI and also this co-creation thing that everyone I think knows that we're focused on around like experiences for people in this co-creation, and that was really nice to see people really be into both the real time like the sort of novelty of that. This was pre-Daydream. And then also could kind of see the quality of the Livepeer image generation was quite good, especially because we were A/B testing with fall. So I don't know what's on the next slide. Sorry. I think there is not one. So basically, if you go to the QR, it has like in the form like an overview of basically the things we've done, which is like the private workshops, the public experience, our onboarding with design partners, and then we also have these micro reports, part of our larger market research. Also has more information about what we're doing for the next 3 months. So one of the experiences we were like, yeah, I think we said 2 to 3 experiences in our deliverables. We'll probably wind up with 2, but doing like a test, like a multiple week test with the with live like real time and in a live music setting. So in the Mall of Scandinavia, which has quite a large amount of foot traffic, because it's a Westfield. We will be testing that with a band who has like a residency. So I think that'll give us some good feedback and also like education to them on how realistically they can use it in a live setup, and then also where that is beneficial or like not to an audience. But it's been really great to dive into this. So thank you for giving us the opportunity, and I'm excited to continue to share what comes out of it.
Thank you so much, Sean, and the rest of the Origin Story team for the work done so far. It's just really cool to see especially the partnerships that have been established is quite impressive, and looking forward to seeing what else comes from that. And if you have any questions for Sean and the Origin Story team, the report has been posted in the forum, so that is what this QR links out to. Please take some time to read and leave any thoughtful comments or feedback that you might have. And that wraps up the last of our SPE proposal or update presentations. Thank you all for listening. I'm just going to hand over to Jose to quickly, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, go over some brief governance updates to wrap us up for the Treasury talk for March. Thank you again to Papa Bear, to Titan, and the rest of the community for letting us collaborate with this long-standing event that is the water cooler chat. I think it's been a loaded one, but it's been pretty engaging and interesting so far, and I'm really excited to just see all the SP activity that's happening and all the great things that are being shipped. So thanks once again, and I'll just hand over to Jose now.
Thank you, Neoma. It's been great seeing all these SPE presentations. So we wanted to take some time to discuss.
You are muted, Jose.
You cannot hear me?
I can hear. Is everybody
Yes, they can hear me apparently.
Maybe it's just me. Carry on.
Yes, I think all the feedback is that most of the people can hear me, so I'll just go ahead. Yeah, we've seen there were some confusion about SPE formation. I think overall within the community, the whole community understand the SPE flow, but we just wanted to remind people that now in our GovHub and also in the forum, there are posts on what's the standard flow on how to submit an SPE. So just as a initial summary, first before
Sorry,
posting
1
on
second,
chain.
Jose. Since I can't hear you, when you need the next slide, just do this or something.
Yeah. Just before posting an SPE on chain, it's required that there is some discussion prior in the forum. So that's like a standard convention that I think most of the community is aligned with, and it also serves to improve proposals. And that's also what we have done to submit our GovsWork SPE proposal. So you can see it now on chain in the Livepeer Explorer. I think the support from the community has been very good. and there are 3 days to go left for voting. So we're quite happy with the overall support, and there is just some quorum to be reached. So if there are orchestrators here that have not cast their vote yet, we encourage them to do so. And if we go to the next one. For all the SPEs that have not had the opportunity to present, we're also encouraging people to submit their monthly updates, like Agent SPE has done, or the E&E SPEs have done very successfully. So please head to the forum and submit those updates. We are also merging, that we have already talked about that. We have merged the Treasury talk with the water cooler chat to address some social fatigue that people have been telling us. There are also in the forum some discussions about LPT inflation and the Treasury cap, which will probably unfold within the next few days or weeks. So if you have not joined them, please go and post your opinion in the forum. And we have also been aware of an increasing number of on-chain votes in the Explorer. And also we are just informing the community that we're exploring ways to prevent voting fatigue, so that voting can become more predictable for orchestrators, so they don't have to be checking every time if they're missing a vote. And this is work that is currently ongoing, and we will inform the community when we have reached an outcome on how to facilitate voting. And without further ado, I encourage everyone to see all the resources that we have been building within GovWorks, the Governance Hub, which includes SPE dashboards with all the information about reports and proposals from SPEs and all the upcoming SPEs. GovWorks contact form. I think people are having an easy time contacting us, but just in case, you have many different channels that you can reach to us. And now GovWorks the issues community update thread, where we inform about community events, and also we're about to issue a governance summary, governance digest, where we make it easier to understand all the things
And
happening in
I quickly
governance.
want to touch on the Cloud SV vote tool. Again, this is just a great way to visualize voting activity. You can actually also leave your rationale, so your reason for voting the way that you have. I think it's really handy to see how orchestrators are voting and voting sentiment in general beyond just the approve or reject. So thank you again to the Cloud SPE for this handy tool. And yeah, I think that wraps us up for today. I just wanted to show this slide briefly. This is a QR linking to the Treasury Talk event registration page. This is actually how you will get call notes from the event, correspondence around future events, and everything to do with SPE news, Treasury events, and so on. It's all here in the Luma, so please take some time to scan and a couple seconds to fill out your information to stay in the loop about what's going on here and beyond. Thank you once again to everyone for all you have contributed to this call. Thanks for your steadfast work in the SPEs that you are in and shipping consistently for the transparency reports. Looking forward to seeing more of those come up on the forum. Jason says, feature and Explorer to be able to provide reasoning while voting, coming soon. Yeah, I think right now it probably is a little bit more long-winded to do that through the vote tool, but that in Explorer would be extremely helpful. But without taking more time from the water cooler chat, thank you all for joining us here today, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Take care. I'll just